guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is my 31 week bump date. I am 31 weeks pregnant today. What is happening? My symptoms for this week, pretty similar to how it's been the last month or so, but the main thing that I'm feeling is just a huge amount of movement from baby girl. I love feeling her movement. Sometimes they're uncomfortable and they get a bit much because it's constant. She very rarely stops moving. If she hasn't moved for 10 minutes, I'm like, she's asleep. But mostly she's just kicking me all night long and all day long. So lots and lots of baby movements, and they're getting so strong because obviously she's getting bigger. I just don't understand how a little fetus can be so strong. I don't get it. I was telling Luke the other day that it feels like she could be born and immediately beat me in an arm wrestle. That's how strong it feels she is. Another symptom I've had this week is anxiety. I haven't really spoken a whole lot about anxiety on my bump dates, but it's something that I have had this pregnancy. It's just getting worse as the pregnancy progresses. I think because she's getting closer to being here, and I'm just very anxious about how she's gonna fit into our family because we already have 3 kids. I know that sounds terrible, but just feeling a lot of anxiety surrounding her birth. Not so much the birth itself, but her being here and fitting into our family. And I know it's gonna be fine. I'm very lucky I have Luke, a really supportive partner, but anxiety is real at the moment. Another symptom that I've had is not fatigue. It's not fatigue. I'm easily worn out. That's how I'd put it. Walking up the stairs, especially because Talia wants me to hold her all the time. Walking up or down the stairs with Talia and just like walking around the park with her, walking through the shops, like just anything that requires me to move my body from one spot to another. It's tiring. I get tired so fast. It's not like fatigue where you're just like, my body is just exhausted. I don't know how to explain it, but that's a symptom I've had this week, and that's obviously getting worse as the pregnancy progresses because I'm getting bigger. Another symptom I've had this week, and I could be wrong, I'll look back, like you'll be able to tell when you look at the end when I show you my belly. I feel like my belly has like shrunk a little bit because of my new gestational diabetes diet that I'm on. Although in saying that, this last week I haven't been as strict with it because I'm not testing my glucose levels. It's not that I'm not being as strict with it, it's just that when you are testing your glucose levels, you have to like fast for like periods throughout the day. So once you've had breakfast, you can't eat for 2 hours because you have to test your glucose levels 2 hours later. And then once you've had lunch, you can't eat for 2 hours because do you know what I mean? Like you can't just snack all day long. I've been snacking all day long this week because I haven't had to test my glucose levels. So I feel like when I am testing my glucose levels, I lost quite a lot of, I feel like I lost weight, which is weird because, you know, my baby's growing. It's probably, you probably won't be able to see it in this bump date because like I said, I have been snacking this week. But I feel like towards the end of last week, I had lost weight. Speaking of the gestational diabetes and not testing my glucose levels, tomorrow is my retest for gestational diabetes. I'm pretty sure on Monday they'll be calling me and telling me or like confirming with me that I definitely do have it, and then on Monday I'll have to start testing again for my glucose levels. But it was nice to have a week break anyway. But I get my definite diagnosis on Monday, so I'm really thankful for the week off testing that I got. And it's not forever, it's only until she's born, hopefully, and then hopefully it all goes back to normal and I don't have to worry about it. Another symptom that I've had this week is shortness of breath. It's kind of concerning. I have had shortness of breath throughout, shortness of breast, no shortness of that there. I have had shortness of breath throughout this pregnancy, but this is different. Like, it's almost like maybe attached to my anxiety. Like when I start to feel anxiety, I feel like I can't breathe, like a little bit claustrophobic almost. And it's really hard for me to catch up on my breath. It just will hit me all of a sudden, and I won't, sometimes I'm not even doing anything. Sometimes I'm just sitting there and then all of a sudden I realize I'm short of breath and I'm struggling to breathe. I think that's more surrounding anxiety than it is around shortness of breath. It's a different shortness of breath than I've felt in the past with this pregnancy. Another symptom, I don't even know if you'd call it a symptom, but something else that I've been doing a lot more frequently than I was before is waddling. Waddling started quite early on in this pregnancy. I feel like I got too big for myself too quickly. It's getting to the point now where I just waddle everywhere. I'm constantly waddling, and Luke thinks it's hilarious. Every time he sees me waddle, he just laughs at me. In a loving way, of course. So waddling is a new symptom, I guess you could call it. That's pretty much the notable symptoms that I have for this week. Obviously, the biggest thing happening this week is my gestational diabetes retest. So that is happening tomorrow, like I said. Something else that happened this week is I brought an exercise ball finally. With Talia, I bounced a lot on the exercise ball towards the end of the pregnancy. And I don't know whether that had anything to do with my extremely fast labor, but it can't hurt. So I bought an exercise ball and I'm planning on bouncing on it whenever I can. I don't get a whole lot of free time to do it, but if I do, it's there. I also mentioned in my previous bump date that baby girl is posterior, and I think she is still posterior. I have an appointment in a couple of weeks, I think, maybe even in a week and a bit. I'm not sure. At my next midwife appointment, I'm going to get them to check the position of baby again. They do it anyway, but I'm hoping she turns before I go into labor. At my last midwife appointment, she mentioned that she's head down, like her head's engaged. I don't doubt that. I know I feel like she is head down because I feel pressure and whatnot down there. But I also feel her a lot more on my left side. I feel like she is head down, but her shoulder isn't where it should be in the way of, you know, going into labor and giving birth, which is fine because there's plenty of time. But her shoulder is like in my left hip. I can feel it in my left hip. So I'm hoping she straightens out a little bit and figures it out before I go into labor. I don't remember stressing this much about the position of baby with Talia, because from like late 20 to maybe like 28 weeks or something, Talia was head down, fully engaged, ready to go, and she stayed like that until she was born. The whole pregnancy with Talia just went so smoothly, and I so took it for granted. This pregnancy, not so much. The first thing I think I had was the subchorionic hematoma. That was fun. And then I've had the diastasis recti, gestational diabetes, and my low-lying placenta, which I still don't know if it's moved away yet. Her being posterior, and also I feel like she's not engaged properly. So I just had like all of these things that I didn't have with Talia. I didn't realize how smooth my pregnancy with Talia went until I got pregnant with this baby. This baby is stubborn. I blame you, Luke. So yes, if you want to find out my gestational diabetes results, I'll share them as soon as I can, as soon as I know. Follow me over on Instagram. I'll link it down below, put it up on the screen somewhere. And also don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get notified when I post a video. You'll know as soon as everyone else knows about my gestational diabetes diagnosis. Anyway guys, I'm gonna go ahead and show you my 31-week baby bump. Alright guys, that was my 31-week bump date. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe below if you want to follow our journey. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!